even know a bastard, when they reject any kind of improvement. Apocrypha, these are books written mostly in Hebrew or Aramaic by Judean authors from circa the 2nd century before Common Era to circa the 1st century Common Era. Thus most of them were extant at the time when the Talmudic sages undertook the formidable task of establishing the biblical canon of sacred books, which they did about 90 Common Era. Apocrypha, when they were written, the oldest known Judean work not included in the Bible is the Book of Enoch, written in the 3rd, or perhaps even the late 4th, century before Common Era, after the return from the Babylonian exile and the establishment of the Second Judean Commonwealth, 6th to 5th centuries before Common Era, and before the Maccabean Revolt in 172 before Common Era. The Book of Enoch, dating from the 3rd century before Common Era, were discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls, once again, proving that the scriptures have not been tampered with to such a degree to wit, children of heathen will tell you this day. Most of these works were written in the land of Israel, in Aramaic or Hebrew. However, some of them, such as the Wisdom of Solomon, were written in Greek. These Judean Greek writings were produced in the widespread Judean diaspora of the time, mainly in Egypt, Alexandria, and in North Africa. Apocrypha and pseudepigrapha, mostly in Hebrew, with a lesser number in Aramaic and even fewer in Greek. The Dead Sea Scrolls, as they came to be known, are assumed to have been the library of a sectarian community at Qumran. The scrolls survived the Roman ravaging of Judea in the years 68 to 70 Common Era, because they were hidden in caves. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls were a number of manuscripts of the Apocrypha. What do these texts teach us? Among this literature are works of varied character. Some are histories. The main source for knowledge of the Maccabean Wars are the apocryphal, 1st and 2nd books of Maccabees. Other works, called apocalypses, present visions of heavenly and earthly secrets of God and His angels. The concern with heavenly realities is a very prominent development in the Second Temple period. In these works, central religious questions dominate, above all the issue of the justice of God. Such visions are attributed to Enoch, Ezra, Baruch, and Abraham. A substantial number of works transmit proverbial teaching about so-called religious and practical issues. These numerous wisdom or sapiental books are a continuation of the tradition of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes in the Bible. The Wisdom of Ben Sira is a record of the teachings of Ben Sira, the head of an academy in Jerusalem, in the early decades of the 2nd century before Common Era. In addition, the Jews of the Second Temple period composed many psalms and prayers, expressing their love for God, their yearning to be close to Him, and their anguish over the fate of individuals, and of Israel. Temporary conclusion, the manuscripts demonstrate that Judean thought of this period was orientated between poles, Israel and mankind. The earthly and heavenly world, the righteous and the wicked. The people at that time lived in a consciousness of these dualities, and, in tension created by them. A certainty of God's just and merciful providence was challenged by the turbulent and violent events of their times. These books are different from the rabbinic literature. They deal only peripherally with traditions of a legal character, which dominated the next rabbinic stage of Judean creativity. What we can learn: time period between written law, Old Covenant, and oral law, New Covenant, the turmoil politically and socially Israel was in, the context of that time, how the heathen attempted and failed to remove the Bible from history. 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 56 and 57, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire, and whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was, that they should put him to death. How this relates to their children, who say they love and know God and go to church, now proclaiming there is no God, and the book has been changed to a lie. Isaiah 5 verse 24 KJV, Therefore as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel.